Just ahead on the News Center tonight, the Taylor inquest produces some new information which surprises the police.
And you'll hear what Gene Upshaw is saying tonight about the NFL players' strike.
As you enjoy the mellowness of the autumn season, we'll see if we can't find some much-needed rain out there.
And Betsy, the participants in the World Series this year will not be the Tigers and the Giants.
Stay with us. News Center 13 tonight is next. Oh, you never give up.
Whether he's in love, fighting crime,
I don't think this was an accident. I think it was murder.
or exposing injustice.
My job is to find the truth. And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't end here. It starts here.
Count on Quincy to be in the thick of things.
What are we looking for? Maybe the best kept secret in Hollywood.
Jack Klugman is Quincy.
Quincy, weekdays at 3 on Channel 13.
Every time we go on the road with Live at 5, we learn something new about Indiana.
Each town does have its own style, its own certain traditions. And by going on the road, we get to learn what life is like with our neighbors, both in the big and the small towns.
But no matter where we go, we're always made to feel right at home. Hoosier hospitality really is second to none.
Friendly people and interesting places. That's what makes Indiana special. And that's why we're proud to call it home.
There are children in Indiana who will be left out in the cold this winter unless you help. Coats outgrown by your child may be desperately needed by another. Help needy children stay warm by donating to Bob Gregory's Coats for Kids. Take your coats to Tuckman Cleaners or the Salvation Army. Please, give today and warm up a child's winter.
WTHR, Channel 13, Indianapolis. Tonight, live from the heart of Indiana, Tom Cochran, Betsy Ross, Bob Gregory's exclusive AccuWeather, and Don Hines Sports Final. This is News Center 13 tonight.
Good evening, Indiana. The city is still buzzing tonight over the landmark coroner's investigation into the shooting of Michael Taylor.
Even Police Chief Paul Arnay, who conducted a thorough investigation of the teen's death, is expressing some surprise tonight at some of the new testimony. The inquiry moves into a second day tomorrow. Jody Davis reports now on some interesting new inconsistencies.
The first inconsistency on day one of this inquiry, Michael Taylor was searched by 3 Indianapolis police officers, not 2 as Chief Paul Arnay previously stated. That third officer is Steve Fogelman, who assisted in Taylor's arrest.
I patted down from his head, taking off his hat, patted down his shirt, around his waist, his crotch and groin area, and his socks.
The other 2 officers, Charles Peniston and Michael Hours, were suspended by NA for not finding the gun police believe Taylor had hidden in his shoe. Tonight, the chief tells me he will not suspend Officer Fogelman. He says that searching Michael Taylor was the responsibility of the other 2 patrolmen. It was not Fogelman's job. NA does say that he's perturbed that no one told him about that third search, but says it's much too early to say what action he'll take. Inconsistency number 2. NA has said previously the patrol car was inspected inside and out before being used to transport prisoners that day. But here's what Peniston says today.
Did you search the back seat when the car was in your possession? No, I did not.
Pursuing that same line just a little bit further, at any time during your shift, did you have occasion to search the back seat?
No.
NA calls the inconsistencies minor, adding anything substantial will be investigated by him. But one outspoken minister sees it another way.
I think it's one of the biggest cover-ups, one of the biggest insults to a man's intelligence, and it's really absolutely ridiculous.
Yet the bottom line on this first day is best expressed by independent medical examiner Robert Kirshner of Chicago. His finding, released here, agrees with that of IPD and of Spurgeon Davenport, the investigator hired by a group of black ministers. That finding, Michael Taylor's fatal wound was self-inflicted. Jody Davis, News Center 13, tonight.
In Atlanta, Georgia tonight, a white police officer stands indicted in the shooting death of a black car thief. A grand jury indicted Officer M.L. Long for involuntary manslaughter after 2 days of testimony. Some witnesses say they saw Officer Long shoot Eddie Lee Callahan 6 times while Callahan was handcuffed and on the ground. Others say long shot Callahan as the car thief tried to grab another officer's gun. The incident sparked weeks of protest by some Atlanta blacks who felt the killing was racially motivated. If he is tried and convicted, Officer Long faces a year in jail and a $1,000 fine. That's it.
And Tom, Marion County prosecutors tonight are planning to file an appeal tomorrow in their efforts to nail a video store owner. A lower court reversed the guilty verdict against Donald Walker. He was charged with distributing obscene material from his Westside video store. A municipal court judge overturned Walker's conviction in connection with the video cassette Barbara broadcast. The prosecution will file for new action on the case with the Indiana Court of Appeals. And the conviction of a former IU student for a homecoming weekend murder by fire has been upheld by the Indiana Supreme Court. Jerry Zook was found guilty of setting a 1984 fire that killed Israel David Edelman at the Zeta Beta Tau fraternity house. Zook challenged the way he was questioned before his arrest and the use of his confession as evidence. The court ruled his rights were not violated. Zook argued with a member of ZBT over the homecoming weekend back in 1984. He later returned to set a fire while those in the house were asleep. He received a 33-year sentence.
Buckle up. How many times have we heard that warning? Police say seatbelts could have prevented 2 deaths in a one-car wreck on I-74 near Brownsburg today. The driver of a small pickup, 51-year-old Richard Sams of Fontana, Wisconsin, is in serious condition at an Indianapolis hospital tonight. He was wearing a seatbelt, but his wife Sandy and mother Virginia Sams were not strapped in. And both were thrown from the truck when it rolled 5 times in the median strip, and both were dead at the scene. Police say Sam swerved to avoid a slow-moving line of construction equipment but lost control of his truck. The family was returning to Wisconsin after visiting friends in Cincinnati. Police also impounded the construction equipment. They say it was not properly registered and should not have been on the highway.
Well, we have said it several times in the last few days, but it does seem tonight the NFL strike could be near an end. NFL owners are agreeing to 4 out of 5 points the players had demanded before they returned to work. But players bargainer Gene Upshaw says tonight both sides are still far apart on the unresolved terms.
I'll continue through the night and through tomorrow to try to work out those terms. If we can work them out, I can assure you that the players will be back, but not until and unless we're satisfied that it's a fair return. We will not return until we're able to work out some conditions.
These developments came after striking players, including the Colts, met to vote on whether they should return to the club. After the Colts meeting, neither side was optimistic.
Well, after the week, I just told the guys, just to go home and relax.
So you don't foresee football in the near future?
I don't know, unless something changes in the next couple of days.
It appears very likely, it could go the whole year. I mean, it's disappointing, but I feel that that's a strong possibility.
While some striking Colts went out to play golf today, one Colts player went back to the team. And Don Hine will have that coming up in sports.
You might find this surprising. There is no shortage of downtown parking space in Indianapolis this fall, but in the near future, watch out. According to a new report which says the city will be short 5,000 parking spaces downtown by 1992. That's if development continues as expected. City County Council's Parking Task Force got its first look at a report today. It asked for the study last year. There is some good news, though. Parking lot expansion in the last few months has added 3,400 parking spaces, giving the city a surplus of 600. But they say that won't last long.
There's a great deal of work ahead of us, given this information, given some of the new technology that's out there, some of the other things that have been tried in other communities that we can learn from, that will dictate where we go over the next 4 to 5 years.
News Center's David McAnally reports that means government will have to make some tough decisions in the months ahead. One option could be a people mover, like systems now used in downtown Detroit and Miami. As you know, Indianapolis has flirted with the idea of a rail shuttle for a decade. Today, it heard that construction costs could top $25 million a mile if the system were built today. Parking Task Force members say a shortage of federal money makes a people mover a tough choice unless business or other investors could be brought in. Wait and see.
Well, coming next in the News Center, while foreign car sales hold their own, America's Big Three report fewer people in their showrooms.
And the Dow takes a dive, breaking a record that was only a week old.
With news for Lafayette, Jonesboro, and all of Central Indiana, this is News Center 13 tonight.
Fried chicken Thursday, how time flies.
Oh no, on Meatloaf Monday, my fish stick Friday report is due.
You had all tuna Tuesday and hamburger Wednesday.
Dad, my slumber party's this spaghetti Saturday.
We'll be home early, spare rib Sunday.
Oh, Dad.
Ever get into a recipe rut where the same meals turn up like clockwork? Kroger can help with a free and terrific recipe each week.
Chicken piccata. Isn't it Tuesday? I thought it was Monday.
Alex's recipe of the week, because a little help can make a difference.
Today's entrepreneur always seeks lasting quality and timeless styling. That, too, is the commitment of Burberry. Superb fit, classic English styling in tailored suits and sports coats. The sewn-in Woolmark label is your assurance of quality-tested fabrics, made of the world's best pure wool. For sport or for play, Burberry offers classic sweaters and distinctive outerwear with a style that endures. Style for the well-dressed gentleman or lady, and it's available at L. Strauss.
Just a week after the Dow Jones Industrial Average set a new record for a one-day drop, that record was shattered at the closing bell. It was another amazing day. The average fell a record of almost 95.5 points for a close at 2,412.70. The Dow lost almost 4% of its value in today's trading, and it is down more than 226 points since the first of the month. Wall Street watchers say the dive is fueled by disappointing news about the nation's trade deficit. Commerce Department reports that deficit is smaller, but exports are also down. Analysts were expecting an improvement in the trade picture. Meantime, interest rates are still climbing as the Dow slips.
And Tom, there are other economic figures down tonight. The nation's top automakers report sales down for the first part of October.
Domestic car sales are down 39% compared with the same period a year ago. Even light truck sales are off. Last year's sales were boosted by unprecedented incentives, and while there are discount loans available now, automakers are not getting the same response. A Transportation Department official is warning Congress of a possible catastrophe ahead on the nation's highways. The expert says a catastrophic failure of a tank truck carrying a commonly used fertilizer could cause a disaster of the magnitude of the Bhopal leak. That incident killed 2,000 people in India 3 years ago. Researchers at the National Cancer Institute say they have come up with a drug to treat one of the most common illnesses among AIDS victims. Doctors say the drug cannot cure AIDS, but it is effective against the rare form of pneumonia that kills many AIDS patients.
Now, those researchers say the drug does not have the side effects of other treatments and could prolong the lives of AIDS patients by several years. But again, it is still now just in the testing stages.
Well, you know, there is a politics to the disease as well. Tonight, James Watkins, the chairman of the President's AIDS Commission, says his panel is pulling itself together and is ready to go to work. The commission is scheduled to meet Friday, but two public interest groups are going to court to block any meetings until the panel is reshaped. The ACLU and the group Public Citizen wants new members with more expertise on AIDS. The original chairman of the AIDS Commission and vice chairman, Dr. Woodrow Myers of Indiana, both resigned last week. New chairman James Watkins says the panel will have a report ready by its December deadline. Here in Indiana, more than 200 Hoosiers are diagnosed with AIDS. The State Board of Health says more than 130 are known to have died, the largest number from Marion County. State health officials warn, though, AIDS is a greatly underreported disease. As many as 12,000 Hoosiers are believed to be carrying the virus, but have not yet been diagnosed.
Well, coming next from the News Center, we need the rain, but you might not like the day Bob Gregory has picked for it in that AccuWeather forecast.
And in Don Hines Sports, Greg Louganis talks about going from one of the world's best to being just another dancer.
With news for Noblesville, Avon, and all of Central Indiana, this is News Center 13 tonight.
You are now entering the eye zone where our story begins. First you notice one tiny line, then another. Now the Estee Lauder Laboratories introduce Eye Zone. With continued regular use, this time released repair gel can rebuild your skin's appearance from the inside out, dramatically diminishing the visible signs of aging around your eyes, and the science of younger-looking skin becomes reality. Now at Lazarus.
When do we land?
Oh, 6:05, I think.
Hey, have you seen this Jaguar ad?
No. What about it?
Well, they have select edition pre-owned Jaguars.
So?
Well, it sounds great. They have a factory warranty for 12 months or 12,000 miles, and they look immaculate.
Oh, what do they cost?
A lot less than a new one.
Well, maybe now I can think Jaguar.
That makes two of us.
See the select edition Jaguars at your local dealer.
live wherever news to you is happening. SkyPath Satellite reports exclusively on News Center 13. Tomorrow's news now.
Have you heard what's new at Chi-Chi's? Chahitas combinations. They sizzle. And the sizzle is irresistible. Fresh vegetables on a blackened skillet, filled with your choice of any two. Steak, chicken, shrimp, or new pork. Grab a warm tortilla, and you're on a roll. New Chahitas combinations. At Chi-Chi's, when you feel a little Mexican.
Bob Gregory's AccuWeather carries the seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society.
A bit of a warming trend. Perhaps we won't need our coats when we leave the building here in a few minutes.
Well, not quite that warm. It's still a little fresh out. We're getting along here in the season and just kind of a preview of what real Indian summer will be like. I'm not sure when that's coming, but we still have that safe downstream for us. Temperatures today still a little below normal. That is going to change at least through the weekend. But the need for a warm coat, well, that's going to be evident soon enough. And we all want Indiana's kids to be warm. So far, the Salvation Army has given away about 3,000 coats. But there is a need for the smaller toddler sizes. So if you've not gotten involved yet, kind of whip through your closet, if you will. If you have a child that needs a coat, go to the nearest Salvation Army. Of course, bring your child so we can give them a proper fit and you have a coat free. But remember, we need those small sizes there if you'd like to get involved. In Shelbyville, be on alert. I'll be down there in front of Grover Museum with a gigantic barrel on Friday night to collect a few coats. All right? Here's what's going on in Indianapolis now. They're calling it overcast, but it's some 25,000 feet up over our area. 48 degrees now at the airport. Here in the Weather Center, downtown, under that same cloud shield, 54 degrees on our thermometer, humidity at 58%. Our winds are calm. The pressure 30.25. It is falling a bit. Evansville, the hot spot, they had a 70-degree reading today. Our best mark at 3 was 67, and the morning low 35. A bit different than last year, where we topped out at 48 degrees. Here's what's going on. Not too much moisture here, but you see in the upper Mississippi Valley region, and then some upslope snow took place in the foothills of Colorado, parts of Wyoming. That all left throughout the afternoon hours. And then just scattered rain showers, what's left of Floyd, a little moisture out off the coast, but things are very, very dry in the midsection of the nation. Tomorrow, things are going to change a little bit. Here's where the moisture will start to make its way eastward, but ridge of high pressure dominating here, so it's not going to get to our area quite as quickly as we see. Things are remaining very dry, very few clouds here, but what's going to happen with this high pressure ridge, the clouds or moisture have to build up and move over that high pressure cell. So this is the situation. Really the next weather maker for us, the clouds associated that you see here with the front, which will come through the area, well, Saturday, the way we see it right now. What the weather map is showing as far as surface systems are concerned, high pressure cell anchored in the coast. They'll have some scattered frost in the western portions of the Carolinas tonight, and then just rain showers along or behind the front. This will be our next weather maker. You take a look at the map for tomorrow now. Things will begin to flatten out in the northern part of the United States. This is where the jet stream flow is. We're still in fine shape with that western boundary of the air of high pressure. We're getting a southerly flow, so temperatures will have a tendency to go up just a bit. And then on Friday, this cool front makes an approach our way. Late Friday night, we could have a shower, and then during the day, a shower is also possible. Not a great deal of moisture with it, but some showers anyway. And then maybe later, after we get through the weekend, some cooler air might come in. We'll talk about that a bit later. Temperatures in the 70s, getting a little close for us tomorrow. These are the expected numbers, and a few more clouds in the northern part of the state. So, for central Indiana overnight, what do we have in our forecast? We'll call it patchy clouds. Low will be 42. Tomorrow, sunshine. We'll still have those high clouds around. A warm day, though. High temperature coming in at 70 degrees. Winds out of the south-southeast from 7 to 14. And then clear to partly cloudy tomorrow night. 45 will be the low. On Friday, then, we'll have some morning sunshine. That'll be followed by some clouds during the day. We'll top out at 72. And then, as we mentioned, late, we could have a shower. But that really seems a little more likely for us on Saturday now. Temperatures will be at 68 for both Saturday and Sunday, and then a mixture of clouds and a 70-degree reading on Monday. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll start out with partly sunny skies and a temperature reading of 44 degrees. So that's it.
What do you think? As you know, Don is a Cubs fan. Ross is a Reds fan. Are they gonna back the National League? You got next season. Going to back the National League team?
No, I don't care. Somebody asked me earlier tonight who I was rooting for. I said, I do not care. Like I told Don earlier in the week, it's so nice to sit back and watch a game and not bleed every time that somebody for the other team does something good against your team.
I'll tell you what I told Gregory.
Yeah,
he said, well, who are you going to predict for the World Series? I said, what are you doing asking me? I said, dummy, I just got my brains beat out in the playoffs like Sparky Anderson. Why are you asking me?
Yeah, but you're avoiding the question, are you going to back the National League team? Betsy has told us she is not.
I don't care.
Heavens, no.
Okay.
I'm a Cubs fan.
There you go.
The Cubs fans never root for Cardinals.
All right.
I don't care if they lost it in 3.5 games.
Would you like to make a prediction?
No. I'll take the Twins in 6.
Ooh, write it down.
We extracted it from him. And tonight's sports right after this.
He just wants to see me get axed again, that's all.
Calvin Klein's obsession for men. I'd know him in the dark.
Exclusively at LSA's.
Cocaine isn't addictive.
And the cow jumped over the moon.
Cocaine makes you more creative, more successful.
Yeah, twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Cocaine users never get caught.
Using cocaine isn't a story with a happy ending. It's a nightmare. Get help with the Koala Cocaine Treatment Program. It's confidential, it works, and you can call right now. Koala can help.
When's the best time to save on a new Nissan? Right now, during your Indiana Nissan dealers 87 closeout sale.
I bought the #1 quality import at a #1 savings price.
Check out my new Nissan Pulsar. I bought it today, and I'm driving it home.
With so much selection.
You'll have an easy time choosing your Nissan.
It sure wasn't tough to save on my hard body truck. Get the right deal right now at your Indiana Nissan dealers 87 closeout sale.
Want to go for a spin? I'm a wheel watcher. I'm a wheel watcher. Every day. I love the day. I'm a wheel watcher. I'm a wheel watcher. Become one now.
Actually, Don was predicting who was going to lose, not who was going to win in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Thanks, Betsy. I should have thought of that. How you doing tonight? Well, there are strong indications, albeit none of them official, that the NFL player strike is very close to being resolved. One had to get the indication that some sort of break would occur when 89 players, many of them big names like the Giants' Lawrence Taylor, crossed the lines today for whatever reason.
Hey, I'm a team player, but it's a point where you reach where you get out of that team unity stuff and start becoming individuals.
Pittsburgh Steelers will have 12 more veteran players against the Colts Sunday, including veterans John Stallworth and Donnie Shell. Colts players voted to stay out. There was not unanimity, but the majority ruled. Ron Solt said he wanted to go in, but didn't succumb to that desire. Mark Bellini, rookie from Brigham Young, said he just couldn't stay out any longer, and that he was a bit rusty.
Yeah, my legs are a little bit sore and tight, and hands are a little bit out of work, but it's coming back, and after a few days, it'll be back.
New quarterback in Colts camp is USC's Sean Salisbury, who also played extremely well for Seattle. Preseason a couple of years ago. While there is some hope that the end of the strike is near, Players Union Representative Gene Upshaw said the strike is still on. An update on the Colts and Cornelius Bennett. Jim Irsay told us today he thinks there'll be progress after Monday's trading deadline.
You know, we kind of feel when that passes that will help the negotiation, because that'll put, you know, the famous question aside, will you trade him, which, you know, we've said many times we wouldn't and we won't.
This is about the only mistake the St. Louis Cardinals made tonight in beating the Giants 6-0. Vince Coleman picked off second base. In the bottom of 2, Willie McGee broke a righty hitting slump, plating Terry Pendleton, who had earlier singled, barely made it in, bad ankle. Here's the big hit from an unexpected source, Jose Oquindo with a 3-run homer off Atlee Hammaker. You can bet those Jeffrey signs were out tonight. He played well with a couple of hits. And Tommy Herr in the final 2 nails here with a 6th inning single. 6-0 Cards over the Giants. Danny Cox with a great pitching effort.
So the World Series begins in Minneapolis on Saturday with the Twins favored to take at least the first game. Houston General Manager Dick Wagner gave himself the axe today. He said he was badgered by field manager Hal Lanier, and it was best that he move on. Greg Louganis, as you well know, is one of the world's great athletes whose skill has taken him to another athletic performance. Here's Dan O'Brien.
He is unquestionably the world's finest diver today, almost without argument the greatest of all time. And although Greg Louganis will continue in that sport, at least through next year's Olympics, he's already preparing for new challenges.
Right in the eye, and then go. Strong.
Louganis has studied dance since age 3, but he'll make his professional dance debut in Indianapolis next Wednesday with the locally based group Dance Kaleidoscope.
I think that dance is a lot more difficult. I'd say that diving is easy, but you know, I do a lot of different things as far as my training, and dance is a part of my training.
That training made Louganis the best in his sport. Now he has the same goals for his future occupation.
I'm striving for my optimal performance in diving, just like I'm striving for my optimal performance in the dance.
Dan O'Brien, News Center 13 Sports.
A reminder that Greg will guest live tomorrow morning at 9 on AM Indiana, right here on 13. And just a second here to show you two excellent goals from tonight's NHL action. A great individual effort by Chicago's Dennis Savard. And this will be one of the longest goals I've ever seen, exclusive of some of the flukes. Claude Wazell gets it as Hartford loses its fourth straight to New Jersey 3-1. Chicago, by the way, beat St. Louis 5-3.
Dancers are tremendous athletes, aren't they?
There is no question about it. I started taking a little bit of tap a couple of years ago. It's great exercise, and it takes great agility.
And we enjoy watching you work out in Studio B. We'll have to put that on television sometime.
Some night I will.
All right. We'll be back with more right after this. Stay with us.
How fast is the new Isuzu Impulse Turbo? How does 950 miles per hour sound?
The Impulse Turbo.
Faster than a speeding... Well, you know.
Let's go window shopping at the Pella Window Store. Find windows, doors, sunrooms, and more at the Pella Window Store. Screens that disappear.
A Pella invention.
Pella shades that gather no dust.
A Pella invention.
Sunrooms that let the stars shine in.
A Pella invention.
Come find what you're looking for. Window shopping at the Pella Window Store.
A Pella invention.
Visit your Pella Window Store or call this toll-free number.
Ralph Thompson has an extra $5 in his pocket today. Stella Snyder will save $16 on Thursday. There's a reason so many people are smiling this week. Their Hooks pharmacist in green will fill their prescription with a top-quality generic drug. Generic drugs can reduce prescription costs by up to 60%. Ask Hooks about money-saving generics for your next prescription. Because we like to see you smile.
In about 2 years, Indianapolis will be able to promote a new medical facility dedicated to women's health. Tomorrow on News Center 13 at 6, our cover story will focus on some of the issues to be researched at the new Women's Health Institute. Take a look tomorrow, News Center 13 at 6 o'clock. That's it.
And finally tonight, it is just about that time of the year, and we offer a preview of the hottest costumes that will be on the streets on Halloween night. At a preview party tonight, all the latest and scary attire came out, including the couple that you just love to listen to. Doesn't he look familiar? And doesn't she look familiar? I ran into her at the mall, I think, last night. Some of the other With It costumes in which to be seen this season, besides the traditional ones, are Spuds MacKenzie, Alf, and for the fans of gore, Jason and Freddy Krueger of movie fame. Now we know what we're going to go to the Halloween party as. Sure, you want to be Jim or Tammy?
Can you sing, Tammy?
I'll be Alf, okay? That will do it for us for News Center 13 tonight. Thanks for being with us. I'm Betsy Ross.
When you consider some of the allegations about that couple, that was the most inappropriate question. I'm Tom Cochran. Bill and Kim are here live at 5. We'll be back tomorrow night at 6. And shame on you.
Good night.
The Clothes Shake.
This is News Center 8. Now, local news coverage you can count on. This is